here. There we go. So I guess I just wait now for people to join, people to chat, see who gets the heads up, the alerts, if you will. Reese's Pieces. It's still Sunday. It's still Sunday. I guess now we can identify with the Sunday scaries. Because a lot of people have to go back to work tomorrow. Or the Monday scaries? The Sunday scaries? I think they're called the Sunday scaries. I really hate that Sunday night. You start thinking about work and then what work is going to be like when you get there. Unless you like what you do. I think that's what we all should strive to do. We should all strive to like what we do. But it's a tough road ahead for people who want to do what they like doing. Because sometimes you have to quit a lot of jobs that you don't like, or at least build a war chest. You build a war chest, and then you start following your passion. I think you have to have a full month's supply of money. I say work until you can sustain yourself for a year, and then go have fun. If you can sustain yourself for a whole year, kind of calculate how much you're going to need for a whole year. Pay your taxes at the end of the year. And then the money you save, you'll have money left over. That's what I'd do. If I were a business, I would just spend half of what I earned. And the rest of it would be for taxes, and then there'd be what is left over. Put your taxes into an interest-bearing account, so that way you're making money. But then you got to pay taxes on your interest. I would like them to do away with income tax. They tax everything else. They tax the gas. They tax your shirt that you buy. They tax the pants that you buy. They tax the trousers that you buy. They tax your house. Here they have property tax. Property tax. After you pay off your house, you have to pay property tax. It's like, can a guy get a break? Property tax? And if you don't pay your property tax, I guess they take your house to pay your property tax. It's like you don't own anything outright. Like land even. The land that your house is on. Mineral rights, etc., etc. It's crazy. I think once you own a house, that should be your house. That should be your house. And then if you want to will it to your kid, or your family, so your family can continue living there. I think the smart way to go is stay in a hotel. You can get some pretty good rates sometimes. If you stay in a hotel for a long period of time, you get that extended stay rate And then if something happens, you just call room service. You know, they come in and change your sheets, change your out your towels, and put a mint on your pillow. Wouldn't that be awesome? If you had the money to just put yourself up in a hotel room and that's where you live. You live in a hotel room. That's a good hotel, you know. They actually change your sheets. They actually change your towels out. They give you fresh towels, give you a fresh soap and shampoo. All you have to do is live there. Keep paying the tab, you know. And then it's probably a tax write-off. If you're paying because you're working in the area, that would be kind of neat, wouldn't it? You get a tax write-off because you're on business. You're paying for that hotel so you could stay in the area, you know, close proximity to where you work. Then say if the hot water heater isn't making hot water anymore, you can just, or the air conditioner breaks down, you just tell room service, or you tell the maintenance, you know, that you tell the manager, and they send somebody out to fix your air conditioner. If you own a home, you got to pay for the damn air conditioner. Your air conditioner breaks down, or I better not say that, or your heater breaks down, or refrigerator breaks down. If you're the owner of the home, guess who has to pay for that refrigerator? The repair. You might as well just save up, you know, save up the cost of a refrigerator. Sometimes they say it's cheaper to buy a new refrigerator than it is to repair the one you have, or your air conditioner, or if a pipe breaks. It's a nightmare. It's like, do your maintenance, do your due diligence. Low-key annoying. Who are you even talking to? Oh, okay. So this is Austin. So anyway, I'm talking to the people who watch this show. Some people miss my show and they rewatch this after it is. So what brings you here? Why aren't you watching someone you like to watch? Why aren't you watching somebody you enjoy watching? You're just kidding. Okay. Keep it going. Okay. I guess I'll sit and bitch about taxes. Sit and bitch. That's what we'll call this, a sit and bitch. We're having a sit and bitch. We're bitching about taxes. We're bitching about the cost of living. Scroll through, found this. Okay. Great. Some people are lucky enough to just fall onto this stream that I'm doing. Sometimes throughout the day I do different streams while I sit here and snack on Reese's Pieces. Hell yeah. I don't mind a little ball busting, you know. What's a little ball busting, you know, among friends, among newly met people? Oh, you're watching me eat Reese's Pieces? Well, I guess we can snack together. It's always kind of fun, you know, get together with your buddies and have snacks. Get together with your buddies. Are you close to channel monitor? Pretty close. I guess I'm a little more than halfway to my, 1,000 subscribers? I'm like 700 subscribers. So I think I'm a little more than half. So one of these days, I'm going to wake up and I'll notice I have 1,000 subscribers. Then I'll have to throw a party. I don't know. I guess I've somehow got, I'm compelled. I'm compelled now. I've been a YouTuber since 2009. 2009 was when I became a YouTuber. But then I was working all the time, and I didn't have a chance. You know, I was so distracted by all the things going on. Yeah, just stay strong. Don't give up. You just never know. You know, I could be another Alex Jones or something like that. Now that I have a what do they call it, a forum, I guess. Some people start on public access. I guess this is the new public access. I mean, hell, you can just start talking to people, you know, and crack some jokes and get paid to do it. That's what I've wanted to do. You know, advertise stuff. In the description, I have some sites. I have some websites that people can buy things from, or they can donate. Since my show isn't monetized yet, people can donate on my into my description, the description of this video. Oh, there's somebody else here. Yes, that's right. As soon as you exercise your free speech, and I'm using air quotes, free speech, freedom of assembly, isn't that right? Here in America, you're supposed to have freedom of assembly, freedom of speech. You're innocent until proven guilty, or until somebody lies about you, or misidentifies you. That's scary. Oh my God, that's scary. So many people go to prison because they were misidentified. People go to the electric chair, and then after they're shocked, you know, after they're unlived, you know, they find out the guy was innocent. You know, they're exonerated due to DNA evidence. You know, it's like, wow, that was a little harsh. You know, and then you hear about people lying. You know, they lie about being assaulted by said person, and the guy spends time in prison, and it was because somebody lied about them being assaulted by said person. It's like, man, just don't talk to anybody. Don't spend a lot of time alone with somebody because they could probably lie about you. We should all have body cams. I think that's smart. Everybody get a body cam. That way if somebody says that you punch them or abuse them, or, you know, it's like, well, let's look at the body cam. Let's see what the body cam says. There should be some stiff penalties, I think, for perjury. Perjury! I think you're supposed to do some time if you commit perjury. You're swearing, you're under oath, and you're lying that somebody, you know, R-worded you, you know. Somebody assaulted you. And so, yeah, there should be, I think there's some penalties already. It's like they just go, oops. It's like oh, anyway. I guess I'm dwelling on the negative today. I need to think about bunny rabbits, you know, petting little bunny rabbits, or butterflies. Talk about butterflies or ladybugs. Oh, yes, yes. Yes, there's, who's that, Roma? A woman named Roma Army is always busting ladies for how they treat men, and how there's the MGTOW movement, you know, men going their own way, and ladies wonder why nobody's asking them out or going out with them. It's like, well, the Me Too movement, you know, some of it's justified. You know, some people are sleazy. They're sleazy scumbags, and they do things because they have power. And then it's kind of weird, man, when you see patterns. You know, you see people getting busted because they are sleazy scumbags, and everybody knows it, but nobody speaks out because they could lose their job. Sexual harassment was a big deal when I was a youngster. Oh my God, they always talked about be careful of sexual harassment. Yes, red pill people, people who want to step out of the matrix, this world that was created for us by people who hate us, by people who just want us to show up for work. As soon as you get sick, as soon as you get injured, as soon as you get a disease, or a condition, it's like you're fine. You're fine if you can show up to work and get along with everybody. And as soon as you get cancer, as soon as you get, a condition, you can't fit in anymore. You can't, you know, pull your weight anymore. So, yeah, I think it's a miracle that any of us are alive anymore. Because it's like, yeah, this collective consciousness that is very toxic to human beings. Mental health, it's like, good luck with your mental health. This world is very mentally unhealthy. Very mentally unhealthy. Nobody cares about anybody. Everybody wants everyone else's job. Everybody is just psychopath, sociopaths. They're the ones that rise to the top because they're cutting everybody off at the knees, cutting everybody's throats, pushing everyone aside. The good people that work really hard, are sometimes the ones that don't get recognized. And when they do get recognized, they don't even hand out awards anymore. Some places I've worked, they used to hand out awards for people who are doing a good job, but then the people who don't get an award, they bitch. And it's like, try working hard. Try doing a good job. Try working with everyone. Make people like you, Like Woody Harrelson, when he in Hunger Games, he said, if you want to survive, make people like you, People should like you. That way they'll help you out. But it's like, that person got an award. Well, he showed up. He did his job. Viagra, how expensive it is? I know. Inhalers, insulin, everything people need to survive. It's crazy here in America what they charge for medications. Any pill you want to get, it's like, good God. And then you got to rely on the generics. You know, the insurance company will cover your generic medicine, but the good stuff, the stuff that actually works, they won't cover it. So it's like if you want to get the actual Farxiga or Entresto or stuff you need for your heart condition, I know it's ridiculous. Get out of your chair, stick your head out the window and say, I'm as mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore. There was a movie where a guy did that. This old guy got mad at the government and everything, and how life isn't livable anymore. I want you to get up out of your chair. I want you to go up, stick your head out the window and say, I'm as mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore. I forget what the name of that movie was. I think it was... What's cool is Mars Attacks. Have you ever seen Mars Attacks? Those Martians, they start fighting with the Earthlings, and the Earthlings start... Jack Black was in that movie. Jack Black is in a lot of movies. Part of Tenacious D. And It's always funny to watch some of those movies. Michael J. Fox is in there too. Mars Attacks. I want to watch that movie again. I like those. That and RoboCop. Back in the 80s when I was in high school. Oh, I think in the description there's also my movie playlist. I just found some movies in there to add to it. There was the Wedding Singer, Psycho, the original Psycho with Tony Perkins. I think they remade Psycho, or they made like a Psycho 2 with Jennifer Tilly. She was in Liar Liar. Jennifer Tilly. She also played in The Bride of Chucky. She played the Bride of Chucky. We were just talking about Chucky yesterday. Chucky! I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get Eddie. No matter what. You know what? The guy who did the voice of Chucky, he was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, the one with Jack Nicholson. He was the one that wound up killing himself because Nurse Ratched was such a bitch. Nurse Ratched was a mean lady. If you ever watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Danny DeVito was in that movie also. And who's that guy from Back to the Future? He played the professor. Christopher Lloyd, that's right. Christopher Lloyd. He played one of the characters. A lot of movies. A lot of good movies. A Few Good Men was a good one. That one had Jack Nicholson. Deep down in places you don't talk about at parties. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Jupiter time.
But you know what? He ordered a code red, and that's what got him in trouble. Full Metal Jacket is one that gets a lot of press. R. Lee Ermey, the guy who played the drill instructor, or Hartman. He played Hartman! Jesus Christ, Pa, whatever you do, don't fall down. You are a disgusting fat body. What's this in your footlocker? A jelly donut? They pay for it, and you eat it. That's actual stuff. He was a drill instructor, and he was a consultant, and then he wound up being the character. If you ever watch Apocalypse Now, he's in that movie too. Boys from Company C, all those Vietnam era movies. We're down to 0 already. Wow, who am I talking to? Oh well, when people play this back, they will also know that if they like to donate, it's in the description. You know, the donate link is in the description of this video. And share this video with somebody so that it will go to a lot of people. Because I really could use the donations. I like to own my own home one day. And I could be here to entertain you. And then we can, I think I'll go get my instruments. I have my instruments. Ugh. Why did you join my beloved corps? I guess I lost my... Oh, so there's another Alex. There's a red pill, baby. Let's see. Somebody told me I can play flute pretty well. Is it a flute or is it a recorder? It doesn't record jack shit. It's a flute. It doesn't record anything. hate is daylight savings time. Daylight savings time is bullshit. Daylight savings time, they say it causes heart attacks and car accidents. Who the hell benefits from that? And it's like, whoopee, we're actually losing an hour of daylight. We're losing an hour of daylight because, for example, it's not 7 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock. So it kind of pushes you forward. You get to leave work an hour early, I guess, but I could have a panic attack. You wake up and you think, you hit the snooze button because you forgot to set your clock ahead an hour, and then you wake up and your boss says, "How come you're not here yet? You're an hour late." It's like it's like I forgot to set my clock an hour ahead, and it's like that causes heart attacks. It causes accidents, car accidents, because people are going, "Oh my God, I'm an hour late," because everybody else set their clocks ahead an hour. And it's like right now it's probably only 6 o'clock, but our clocks say it's 7 o'clock. So it's like now we got to go to bed earlier because we're an hour ahead. But then it's fall back to standard time. I guess this is for people who are not 5 hours ahead. Somebody stole Eddie's Funhouse. This is called Eddie's Funhouse, okay? And I did a Google and up came Eddie's Funhouse, but then some guy has Eddie's Funhouse of Fear. And it's like, okay, I've been a YouTuber since 2009, April 1st, 2009, and so I'm like, I think 15 years ahead of this person. So I think somebody hijacked my my title, Eddie's Funhouse. So anyway, I am the one, the only Eddie's Funhouse. Also, I found that somebody set up an account. It was a Coinbase. I think it's called Coinbase or some shit like that. But somebody somehow used my email address, and that's how they got their notification that they had done a transfer from their Coinbase account to their First National Bank account. I guess that's how they did it. It was like from their Coinbase to their First National Bank account, and they used my email address. So I'm going to do some investigating tomorrow around 3 o'clock. And I guess I'll keep you posted on that. Let's slow down the tempo. The tempo. guess this is what I do when I get bored. When I get bored, I play very bad recorder. Okay, that's enough. I think that's enough. I lost my mojo. I'm losing my mojo. Yeah. So I guess this is how much I'm loved. I've got zero. I've got 0 people. I'm sitting here eating Reese's Pieces while my cavities get bigger. I'm chewing food with cavity teeth. I'm paying for dental insurance, but I can't use it because I got to go to another town, I guess. So we're 32 minutes in. I wonder what's sad here. What's Alex S. We communicated for a while. And I think, what happened to everybody? What happened, Alex? What happened, Austin? Their names both start with A. Alex and Austin. I'm getting, what's that red? Anyway. Getting like mosquito bites or something. What? I don't know why. I'm indoors. Maybe I was exposed to something. I was exposed. I've been exposed to something. Oh well, these red spots. Maybe I rubbed my eye a little too hard. Doesn't itch or anything. All I can do is, hi there, good day, g'day. Someone earlier just happened to find me. They were just scrolling through and there I was. So I guess I'm here to converse. I'm here to interact, to try to entertain. I'm testing my vocabulary today. I'm eating these E.T.'s favorite candy, Reese's Pieces. It looks like it's like a 50s style, 40s or 50s style font here. Reese's Pieces, and I'm almost out of them. This is a good buy here. This whole thing is full of Reese's Pieces. And yeah, if you really like peanut butter, then you can get Reese's Pieces. But anyway, some people like chocolate. I like to mix chocolate. Get some Reese's Pieces and M&Ms. And just stuff them all in your mouth. And have yourself a Coca-Cola. Or maybe even a bag of popcorn. That's what I could do. It sounds delicious. Delicious. That and Ruby Tuesday lava cake. You know what upsets me is Applebee's. There was an Applebee's in the next town over from me, and it's gone now. I can't have my baby back ribs. I want my baby back ribs with barbecue sauce. I want my baby back. Give me my baby back. Charlie's barbecue sauce. Isn't that what Fat Bastard liked? Mr. Choppy or Mr. Chompy. There was a weird ass movie I saw called Mr. Chompy or Mr. Choppy or something like that. This creature had a huge mouth. He looked like a regular person, but then anyways, look it up on YouTube. It's called Mr. Chompy. The Girls and Mr. Chompy. That's the name of the movie. The Girls and Mr. Chompy. It's a weird ass movie. It would give somebody nightmares, I'm sure. If you're like a 12-year-old or, youngster, and you watch The Girls and Mr. Choppy. Chompy. That's Chompy, not Choppy. Chompy! Who's that South African? It was a South African band, I guess. No, it was a movie called Choppy. Choppy? This is Mr. Chompy. What other weird ass movie? Oh, Stranger Things, Doctor Who. Those angels, they're kind of like those ICP, no, not SCP, Secure, Contain, Protect. Have you ever looked those up? Take care. It's 1 a.m. here. Oh my God, you're in the UK. 1 a.m. Wow. I'm sorry. I'll have to start early. You know what? When I start earlier, nobody joins. I try to start earlier for people who are, so they don't have to stay up until 1 a.m. And when I start earlier, it seems like nobody gets their alert. They got to hit that bell icon so they can get their heads up. Well, I thank you for joining me. That was very kind of you. Maybe somebody in my time zone will join. Yes, bedtime. There was a show called Bedtime for Bonzo. Bedtime for Bonzo with Ronald Reagan, our president. Back when California was a good place to live. California. California knows how to party in the city. That Tupac Shakur song. Tupac Shakur. He was yeah. California. And then there's Californication. A lot of songs about California. Open up those golden gates, California, here I come. Bugs Bunny sang that song. Open up those golden gates, California, here I come. Yeah, what's up, Doc? Oh, mighty warrior of great fighting stock, might I inquire to ask, what's up, Doc? Rabbit season! Duck season! Rabbit season! Duck season! Rabbit season! You're despicable. Who was that? That was Daffy Duck. Daffy Duck. He was a Daffy Duck. Bugs Bunny was always the smartest of them. He would always mess with Elmer Fudd. His last name was Blanc. What was the guy? There was one guy who did all those voices. I just remember his last name was Blanc. The guy who did all the voices for the Looney Tunes. That Mandela Effect. The Looney Tunes. How is it spelled? Looney Tunes? Toon? Yeah. What's up, Doc? So let's see who will join me today. You know what I want to do is shift. I'm going to shift into a parallel universe. They say there are different versions of us in the universe. I want to be that version of myself that doesn't have to worry about money at all. Quieting the mind. Quieting the mind is very beneficial. If you can quiet your mind, you can accomplish a lot. I think a technique to quiet the mind is just that. Just sit, breathe, sit still and breathe, and see how long you can go without having a thought. Because if you can become a very good master of your reality. You can master reality if you can just stop your thoughts. One thing you can do is I count down. That's what I do. I go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just be silent for as long as you can. And you know what? You can increase that time that that your mind is quiet. Stop your monkey mind. What I've learned about the subconscious is that it's responding. All it does is agree. All your subconscious does is agree. So if you really think you're poor, if you really think you're invisible even, if you really feel sad, your subconscious agrees with you, and then it accommodates you. Your subconscious accommodates you. So if you feel like you're having a crappy day, it starts to cause things to happen to give you a crappy day. It'll not only be raining, but the car will go by and splash you, or you'll step in a deep mud puddle, like Bruce Almighty. You'll get a soaker. I think that's what they call it in Canada. When you get your leg and your shoe wet, you get your pant leg, they call that a soaker. And that's I've noticed this about visualization. When you visualize something, you close your eyes and you begin to visualize. And when you do that, your subconscious mind starts to agree with you. Okay, you imagine you're at a lake house, okay, and there's a dock. If anybody remembers what a dock is, it's like a pier without railing. It's just a dock where you have boats parked, You park your canoe next to the dock so that you can step down into the canoe, or the kayak, One thing that was really cool was I saw a clear kayak. Some girl's boyfriend put her in a clear kayak. It was clear. It's like you can see the bottom. You can see into the water, which would be a cool thing to do on a nice day. But anyways, I can talk you into a visualization. it's pretty fun to do because you actually, you are transported. You make that quantum leap. You are transported there. And it's like you are initiating a dream when you begin to imagine, wow, I got 3 oranges, 3 yellows, and 3 browns. Wow. All right, let's not get distracted. Maybe we can, okay, nobody is joining me right now. So whoever plays this back, I think they're in for a real treat because wherever you are, if you're in a if you're in a comfortable chair, or if you're laying, sorry, if you're in a comfortable chair, or if you're laying down, lay on your back, put your head on the pillow, and make sure you won't be distracted. You can play this back, you can pause this, but you can pause it at any time, and you can pause it and then you can begin playing it again, and I can talk you through the guided meditation. That's what they're calling it nowadays. It's not hypnosis anymore. It's called a guided meditation. And let me eat these. So, all right, we're going to do a guided meditation. And like I said, if you're sitting in a comfortable chair and you're not going to be distracted, you're not going to be interrupted or disturbed, then it's a perfect time for you to pause this video. And if you're going to lay down, okay, if you're going to lay down on your bed, you can lay on your back, get into your pajamas, get into your sweatpants and t-shirt, take off your shoes, and then lay on your back on your bed and put your head on the pillow, get yourself all comfy, cozy, and then begin the video. And then so what I can ask you to do now is just listen to my voice, because I'll be talking to your subconscious. Because I'm going to talk to you in a language that your subconscious can relate to or will relate to. Because, again, it doesn't matter what it hears, it just responds. It responds and it accommodates. And so I guess let's begin. You could lay down on the bed and put in your earbuds, I guess, your earphones, headset, and we can begin by just sitting still, laying still. When you're laying on your bed, just act like you're standing at attention. You know, you want to look like the letter I. And then just breathe. And lay there quietly. Then you're going to dismiss any thoughts. You're going to dismiss any thoughts, you know, until your mind is free of thoughts. And then just lay there and breathe. Lay there quietly and breathe and be still and relax. If you feel any tension at all, just allow it to relax away until you feel no tension. And just keep breathing normally. Close your eyes if you haven't already. And imagine you're at a lake house and there's a dock. And at the end of the dock, there is a comfortable chair, an outside chair that you can sit in. And you walk over to that comfortable chair, that comfortable outside chair at the end of the dock, and you're facing the lake. And you sit down in the chair and it's so comfortable, so relaxing. You're just looking out over the lake. You're seeing the clouds. You're seeing the insects flying over the water. And it's so peaceful. It's a nice day. There's nothing to do. You just kind of look around. You can see birds. You can hear them chirping. See them flying through the air. And then just sit there for a while and start to notice things. Start to notice any smells. You know, you might smell the fresh air, the breezes. You might feel the breezes, smell the fresh air, feel the fresh air as it hits your skin. It's just a calm day. And you look out over the lake. It's just a relaxing day, a calm, peaceful day. All of your bills are paid. All of your debts are paid in full. All of your taxes are paid. And you have more money left over and you just notice what that feels like. What that feels like. Everything is in order. Everything is in order. You got it made. Without moving your body, become aware of your imagined body. You can get up out of the chair and stand for a little while and move around. And just look around in this imaginary place, this imaginary environment. And it's so pleasant. You can feel the sun on your skin. It's warming you. The air is fresh and clean. You can see everything going on around you. And it just feels good. It feels very good. And you notice anything is possible. Anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. If you think about something, it happens. If you think about something, it materializes. You're manifesting all the time. If you want a cup of water, you manifest it. If you want some cash in your wallet, you manifest it. You're manifesting all the time. And it's amazing how fast everything you're thinking about comes to fruition. Everything you're thinking about materializes. You can do anything. Anything is possible. And you ask your subconscious to show you what's possible, to show you every day something that is possible. And then you start to realize that there's more possible than you ever imagined. You always have everything you need all the time. You have everything you need all the time, at any time. It feels real. Everything feels real. Everything. Because you are in the quantum field. And it's so easy to create everything here in the quantum field. Then once you create things in the quantum field, you notice them in your reality, in your waking life. In your waking life, you notice things that you created in your imagination. Things you created in your imagination just by visualizing it. And you notice it's so easy to do in your imagination. It's so easy to create things in your imagination. Things just appear in your imagination. Things can disappear in your imagination. That's where everything begins, in your imagination. Everything begins and ends, starts and stops in your imagination. And when you want to come back into this reality, after you create something in your imagination, assume that it materializes here in this physical reality, in this three-dimensional world. And if ever you want something or need something, just know that it's easily materialized. And things will easily materialize in this 3D world. It'll be so easy to materialize, to manifest something, to manifest a scenario. Because there's really no limit to your subconscious mind. You know automatically how to stop your thoughts, how to quiet your thoughts, to make your thinking better. You notice when you are thinking about something, and you notice how it's making you feel. If what you're thinking is making you feel depressed, if what you're thinking is making you feel anxious, you simply stop thinking. And then you begin thinking about what makes you happy. What would you rather happen? What do you want? And then you stop yourself and you say, do I want that? Or do I want that to happen? Do I want that to happen? And if you do not want that to happen, you simply stop thinking about it. Because when you think, you're creating. And you have to be careful what you think, because you are creating. You can do this whenever you want to. Right before bed is the best time to do it. When you are not operating heavy machinery, when you are not fighting with your cat, when you are not walking across the street, you can cause this to happen at any time. You can cause yourself to respond to what you are thinking. You can cause your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind, to respond to what you're thinking. Because Your subconscious mind is just responding to what you're thinking. And always remember that. Your subconscious mind is always responding to what you're thinking about. If you're thinking about something that makes you tense, if you're thinking about something that makes you upset or depressed, your subconscious mind is responding to that. So instead, think of what makes you happy. And you'll get better and better at imagining. You'll get much better at imagining. If you want something to happen or not happen, simply wait till bedtime, turn out the lights, lay there in the dark for a while, and while you're laying there in the dark, start to imagine that you are in a place where you're comfortable, a place where you can do anything you want to, and start becoming aware of what you're thinking and how it's affecting your subconscious mind. What you're saying, because your subconscious mind is just responding to you and agreeing with you. Your subconscious mind is just agreeing with you. What you say, your subconscious mind is agreeing with you. What you think, your subconscious mind is agreeing with you, and it's accommodating you. So the best thing to do is focus on what you want. Focus on what you want and think about it all day long. And if it's a thought that makes you happy, it's going to override what's making you feel depressed. It's going to override what's causing you to have these ailments. And you'll gain more and more control. You are right now gaining more and more control over yourself, over your environment, over your reality, because you understand now how to interact with your subconscious. Being very careful what to think and say and do, what to expect, what to hope for. The law of assumption. Assume that everything is going to go well, because whatever you're thinking, what your subconscious mind is responding to and accommodating you. Now I'm going to bring you back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to move around. Start to become aware of your body. You're getting back into your body. Feeling refreshed, feeling alert, feeling ready to face the day. And if you want to, you can go back to sleep. If you're doing this before bedtime. And I guess this is the end of our session. And we could do more sessions and become more and more familiar with. That's what to meditate means, to become familiar with. Meditate means to become familiar with. And so, yeah, my brother is texting me. It's going to be 30 degrees tomorrow, which is kind of cold. I think all this wind has been cooling down everything. So what I will do is, every chance I get, I'll do more sessions. So you'll become more and more familiar with how your thoughts, how your words, and the imagination, the imagery, the the images that you get when you imagine, how it affects your subconscious, and how your subconscious responds to an image that you get. Imagination. In your imagination, you will notice that you can create things in your imagination, and the more defined they are, the more real they are, the more you hear, smell, touch, taste, etc., the more your subconscious will respond to that, and you'll be able to create at any time. Create or uncreate. You can make things disappear in your imagination. You can make things appear in your imagination. You can change scenarios because you're giving your subconscious mind a concept or a scenario that is beneficial to you, because our subconscious, our mind is very, very powerful, extremely powerful, and is never to be underestimated, because you have to trust. You have to trust, and you also have to believe, believe that your subconscious is more able, very able and very wise and smart. I'm impressed. I'm impressed how never questioned the planning, never questioned the wisdom of your subconscious mind. And you'll be able to you'll be liberated. I mean, any ailments you have are caused by your subconscious mind responding to things. You'll feel a lot more relaxed, a lot less anxious, a lot less depressed. If things aren't going the way you want them to, do not get discouraged. Do not be discouraged when things aren't going the way you want them to go, because your subconscious is still causing things to come to fruition. And sometimes you'll arrive at the same end, you'll arrive at the same conclusion, but just not the way you expected. It won't be the way you expected. And that's what I've noticed. Is like your subconscious mind works all these details out, ones that you never considered. It's like a very smart and powerful being that should not be ignored or neglected. That's what Carl Jung said. You must make your unconscious mind conscious. You must make the subconscious conscious, or it will run your life and you will call it fate. And learn how your subconscious mind interacts with you, sometimes right before you go to bed, or while you're having a dream. Just pay attention to the imagery. Pay attention to when you're reminded of something, when you're reminded of a scenario, when you're reminded of a person. It's your subconscious mind recalling something that it understood, that it, if you work with your subconscious and are very attentive, I guess so that's the word, very careful with understanding your subconscious, what your unconscious mind is trying to convey to you through a dream, through a feeling, through a memory, shows you things. Your subconscious mind shows you things. And I think that's why we're suffering a lot, is because we're ignoring our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind, a lot of people say, I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have done that. Or, because you did. Your subconscious mind knew. And you have to pay attention to that. Any feelings you get, if you get an uneasy feeling, notice that. Notice that uneasy feeling because your subconscious mind knows a lot more than what you're aware of. Subconscious mind knows a lot more than what you're aware of. Somebody walks into a room and you've never met them before, and you just have an uneasy feeling. You don't know why. That's your subconscious mind noticing something, and you should pay attention to it. Or, I knew that was going to happen. You did, but you ignored your subconscious mind trying to tell you that that was going to happen. And it's just a lot of meditation, a lot of visualization, a lot of learning, because your subconscious mind will teach you a lot of stuff. It'll teach you a lot of very beneficial information and knowledge. Just keep asking your subconscious mind, what's possible? What is possible? Or what is the opposite of this? What would be a great outcome? And when you want something, just take that quantum leap, by putting yourself there, putting yourself in that moment. Somebody handing you $50, someone is handing you $50. Don't worry about how or why or when. Just that feeling, imagine somebody walking up to you and handing you $50. It could be two 20s and one 10. Two 20s and one 10, or just a $50 bill. Or maybe even $100. Because once you think of something, your subconscious mind responds to how you feel about it. If you imagine someone handing you a $100 bill and how you feel about it. And then kind of let that sink in. Because if you feel good about it, your subconscious mind will want to recreate. We're recreating a lot of things because of our memory. We only go on our memory. We recreate the same day. We recreate bad scenarios because there's a lot of emotion attached to it. We recreate things that make us upset, depressed, sad, worried. And if you imagine something happening that makes you happy, if you imagine something happening that makes you feel good and better and hopeful, and you really feel it, that's what Neville Goddard said. Feeling is the secret. You feel it. Don't just walk through Disneyland in your imagination. Just emphasize how you feel about it. Kind of increase the feeling of walking through Disneyland in your subconscious mind and the universe, the collective conscious, the quantum field will just recreate that in this reality. That's what I'm learning about this stuff. And then once you become used to going into your imagination and creating things in your imagination, and just sitting back and watching things happen in this reality when you're in the waking life, because we exist on so many dimensions, it's mind-boggling. Hopefully this was interesting and helpful. I guess if you have questions, you can ask them in the next, or tell me what you've discovered and found. Because I think a lot of people can be healed if they just understand their subconscious mind. Because this world forces you to be distracted. This world forces you to be distracted and upset and worried and frustrated and angry and hateful. And these are all the things that your subconscious mind is taking in and recreating and causing in your waking life. And once we become aware of that, we'll start eating from the tree of life. I was thinking about some theories, I don't think we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. We're in the Garden of Eden. We're in the Garden of Eden, and We're just not eating from the tree of life. We're not eating from the tree of life. We're eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And God said, do not eat of the tree of good and evil. If you eat of it, you will surely die. He didn't say how fast. So if people keep eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, they start the dying process. They start their they start dying physically, mentally, spiritually, because they keep eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And if you look at what happens when people have the knowledge of good and evil, they start killing people because they're evil. People are killed because they're Catholic. People are killed because they're not Catholic. People have become killed, and also the death of the soul, when you're excommunicated because you're doing something that the mass or the masses don't agree with. It kills your soul. It kills your spirit when you're excommunicated or shunned because you're doing something that people think are evil. And it depends on what country you're in. Some countries you can do things and it's totally cool, totally fine. But if you're in the wrong country, like nudity, some countries nudity is totally acceptable, But if you go to the wrong country and you try to be naked, you can get arrested. You can get into a lot of trouble. So this is the knowledge of good and evil. That's good, that's evil. And people kill each other based on that. So it's all kinds, all different death from many different angles and different aspects of death. Because people are eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And if people just eat of the tree of life, they'll get more life, Because life is nudity. Life is gratification, in equilibrium, in balance. Life is pleasure and pain. And when you get into good and evil, they deny pleasure. They deny pleasure. When life is pleasure, we are designed to, we are pleasure-oriented beings. We feel much better when we have pleasure. We feel much better when we enjoy pleasures of life, our vices, whatever. As long as we don't self-destruct, as long as our pleasure doesn't come at the expense of another person. But a lot of times, the knowledge of good and evil denies pleasure. The knowledge of good and evil denies pleasure. Pleasure is something that makes life worth living. And forgiveness, allow people to live, allow people to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil and live, harm ye none, do what thou will, harm ye none. Isn't that the Hippocratic oath? Harm none. Or in occult practices, harm ye none. As long as you're not harming anyone, you can indulge, or not indulge, well, you can experience pleasures. You can experience a cigar. You can experience a glass of wine. You can experience a doobie, and not be punished because of someone's knowledge of good and evil. You can have everything in their equilibrium, not in excess. Be ye not drunk with wine to excess, but be you filled with the Spirit of God, I guess, the Holy Spirit, So yes, we haven't been kicked out of the Garden of Eden. We haven't been kicked out of paradise. We just really badly damaged paradise. We badly damaged paradise. paradise existed, but then we started erecting buildings. We started erecting cities where crimes happen. We we weren't kicked out of the Garden of Eden. We destroyed the Garden of Eden. We have to recover the Garden of Eden. We have to restore the Garden of Eden. But that's just my belief. My belief is we were not kicked out of the Garden of Eden. There is still the tree of life. There is still the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But we're eating from the wrong tree. We're eating from the wrong tree. You know, we can enjoy ourselves, but not at the expense of others. We can enjoy ourselves. Stop looking at our version of God and start learning about God. Start learning, get it from the source. Get your knowledge from the source. Get your knowledge from God. Talk to God. Interact with God through nature, through love, through each other. Through nature, through love, through each other, through our experiences. I think we're supposed to have really good experiences. But a lot of us are oppressed. A lot of us are forced one way or another because of our knowledge of good and evil. You know, it's not evil to smoke a cigar. It's not evil to have a glass of wine or to have a beer. It's not evil to get naked once in a while and enjoy the pleasures of body contact. It's when we harm ourselves, when we harm others, that's when I think the pendulum, you know, what's that called? The polarity. Polarity, you know, everything exists,
Ours time.
but to what degree? You know, you can have hot, you can have cold, you can have love, you can have hate, but to what degree? You know, and I think we can challenge, we can have an effect on what degree. We can not push it to the degree of evil, you know, good or bad, you know. If you push bad far enough, you know, it becomes real bad. If you push bad far enough, it can become unbearable. It can become very destructive. If you push bad further into bad, you know. But again, I think that was what I was thinking about was, you know, I don't believe we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. I believe that we destroyed the Garden of Eden. We Have you ever walked through a garden? How beautiful a garden is when there isn't any cement, when there isn't any asphalt, when there isn't any steel beams and concrete, you know, when there isn't any pollution. You just walk through a garden. That's paradise. That's paradise. Picture all those trees, all that grass and flowers and birds and butterflies, all that. It exists, but we screwed it up. We screwed it up. We came in and we started laying down asphalt and we started laying down concrete. We started erecting buildings, building roadways, building cars that belch filth into the air. You know, it's what we've done. We've corrupted the Garden of Eden. You ever live in a farmhouse? You look for yards and yards, acres and acres, and there's just beauty everywhere. Or a vineyard. That's paradise. We screwed up paradise. We had the Garden of Eden and we screwed it up. The tree of knowledge of good and evil still exists. The tree of life still exists. We're just not eating from the tree of life. But that's my theory. Because it's like, hey, God warned us of the consequences. If you eat of this tree, you will surely die. And I think if we stop eating from that tree of knowledge of good and evil, we start to not kill people because of evil. Everyone has their own definition of evil, you know. You don't worship the God that I worship, so you're evil. You're a heretic. You're a heretic. You're a not a blasphemer. You're a pagan, you know. You worship a strange God. That's what they did to the Native Americans, you know. You're not going to worship your gods. You're not going to partake in your ceremonies. You're not going to do your ceremonies. You're going to cut your hair. You're going to dress like we do. You're going to eventually hate somebody because they're not of the religion that you are from. Oh yes, the knowledge of good and evil. But that's just me, you know. That's just my opinion. If you look back on history, how they force people to comply, how they force people to comply. That's the knowledge of good and evil. We have our own idea of what is evil and what is good, and we punish what's evil. I'm probably going to get a lot of trouble for saying this. A lot of trouble, maybe. I mean, we're notorious for that. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? Silver bells and cockle shells, and three little maidens all in a row. Could it be iron maidens? They don't comply with their knowledge of good and evil. Three blind mice, see how they run? Have you ever seen such a sight in your life? This is what I think about, and I'm getting it out there. What's in my head comes out of my mouth. What's in my heart comes out of my mouth. But anyways, a lot of things are written in code. They're not to be taken literally. They are descriptive. When people speak in parables, they're being descriptive. I don't know. Let her rip. Whatever is in the comments, you know, I might get, I don't know what I'll get. It's an hour and 29 minutes. I guess not a lot of people are, it's really late, I guess. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock probably now. Yes, experiment with that. Eat of the tree of life. The figurative, you know. Because that's what the subconscious understands. When you use euphemisms, when you use, what are those called? They are the, I forgot what they're called. When you describe things. I am rubber, you are glue. Whatever I say bounces off of me and sticks to you. The subconscious mind understands that. That man is so hard-headed, you know, or that woman runs, you know, I don't know. It's funny how when I try to remember something, my mind blocks it. My mind blocks it. When I try to remember a name, when I try to remember analogy. There we go. That's the word. Analogy. When somebody uses an analogy, the unconscious mind understands that. It grasps concepts. I think that's what it is we'll practice that. Practice putting ourselves into our imagination, creating things in our imagination and getting better at it. Getting to the point where it's so... Oh, Alex, you got somebody's joining. I was ranting and raving. Not ranting and raving. I was going on and on. What time is it where you are? I don't know what time it is here. I don't have my watch with me. I know it's an hour ahead now. Daylight savings time. Like that really helps. They say daylight savings time causes heart attacks and accidents. So how's it going? Oh, it's almost 6. You're probably in the same timeline as I am. 6 p.m. Okay. They say time is relative. Some people say there is no time. Near-death experiencers say that. Where I was, there was no time. I wonder what that was, because it's like we're only aware of time. When we look at the clock, when someone tells us what time it is, I think we're only aware of day and night. Morning, day, and night. And then the next morning. It is. It's crazy. We're robbing ourselves of an hour of daylight because it's not 5 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock. So we're jumping ahead an hour and losing daylight. Why? I know. Aging. I think there are timers. I think our subconscious and our mind, I guess, the timer goes off. You know, people say, oh, now it's time to age. Now it's time to start aging. But then you see people, there was a whole show based on this woman who looked like a 6-year-old, and I think she was in her 20s, something like that. I see that from time to time. People who just don't age. There's something in our memory, our cellular memory, because I believe we have an emotional memory, we have our psychic memory, and we have our physical memory. They say when you transplant organs, when you transplant an organ into another person, the new person has the cravings, the mannerisms, I guess, of the previous. Wow. Wow! Oh my, I've been sitting here for an hour just rambling. I guess this is just a time for people to talk to the content creator, the person who creates the content, you know, to do like a chat, a meet and greet. This is my meet and greet. So it's kind of late here. I think it's at least 9 o'clock. Our beings, I think there's genetic memory, cellular memory, because it's interesting where memory is stored, you know. Like I was talking about transplants, people who get organs from other people inherit their appetites, their behaviors, and it's like, I don't want to donate one of my organs to someone else. Maybe blood donation, you know, something like that. You can. I think that's our DNA, our genetic makeup, because it's basically just a creature separating itself, you know. I know, isn't that interesting? Who would want to be me? But then I think our you know, there's a lot of evidence about our souls, our spirit, I guess, our soul stores a lot of memory, a lot of like when people have ailments, it's usually because in a past life they suffered an injury or some kind of trauma. It gets it's the memory is carried into their new body, the new body that they were born into. A good show is The Ghost Inside My Child. All these kids who are recalling their previous life. And again, there's some things we have to work out. You know, the trauma that we had from a past life. Again, like vows we've made. I hear like if you were a priest in a previous life, that's why you're not wealthy in this life. Because some priests they take a vow of poverty, or they take a vow of celibacy. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. I used to ponder that too as a kid because I just became aware of myself, you know, aware of, you know, maybe this isn't the only life I've lived. Because sometimes it's like we're learning this existence. They say it's a lower vibrating existence. That's where we get matter. They say there's no matter. Everything is energy. It's just vibrating at a lower frequency. That's where we get solid objects, you know. This is energy, but it's vibrating at a lower frequency, and it becomes like it's matter, like it's solid. And so it's interesting what science is proving. But then they knew that back in time, in Greek times, ancient Greece, they talked about the atoms. They talked about yeah, it doesn't matter. Mind over matter. Because if you heat something up, it can become pliable. It can become a liquid. It changes the molecular structure, like metallurgy. You know, you heat up metals and it becomes a liquid and you can pour it into a mold and it will harden. Or you could pour it into a mold. You could take iron, for example, heat it up to the point where it's a liquid, glass even, and you are so correct. You know, they there are so many things that are recorded, so many things that were known in ancient times. It's like we're reinventing the wheel. Science needs instruments. Science needs instruments to prove things. You can't prove that someone loves someone. You can't prove that someone hates someone because it's like there's no instrument, but it exists. You can see the result of love. You can see the result of hate, but you can't measure it with instruments, you know. Or if I say that I knew that this was going to happen, you can't measure that with an instrument. Or if somebody goes into a coma or something and then they recall, it's like all they have to go on is that the guy says he saw an angel, I think so. You know, they have those spirit boxes. You know, they're um, people can ask questions of someone who has died, someone who has passed, and they can hear the voice of that person. Nikola Tesla was experimenting with that too, a way of communicating with the dead. You know, that necromancy. But then again, sometimes I become aware of unseen things that are unseen. It is, you know, everyone has an art, you know. I think my art is just telling stories. Yeah, he was wanting to give free energy. He said he could transmit electricity through the air. He was the one that invented, I guess, AC current. But then Thomas Edison wanted to promote DC current, and so he shocked elephants. He shocked elephants to death to show how dangerous AC current was. But we use AC current today, and it's like DC current. It's kind of like from batteries. I don't know if generators, but it's like really, because Thomas Edison wanted to charge people for electricity. That's why we're paying for electricity. He wanted Nikola Tesla wanted to just give it away freely. A lot of the yeah, if you and he's kind of along the lines of what I'm trying to teach. Also, Edgar Casey, you know, Nikola Tesla came up with his ideas because he visualized his ideas. He would he would get visions, you know, like his motor, the motor. He got a vision of some snakes. I know, because it was all about profit. He wasn't very nice to Tesla. He was quite rude and mean to Tesla. I don't remember exact stories, but yeah, we're still using today some of his discoveries, or most of his discoveries. It's like they when he died, they came in and policed up all of his diagrams, all of his notes, and it's like we're just basically ripping off a Tesla, like how to transmit signals through the air, radio signals. You know, you know what I heard about Tesla's? He had a very keen sense of hearing. He could hear a fly land. He was also he didn't like jewelry. You know, jewelry was disturbing to him. It was kind of interesting. You know what? I think that's what it is. A lot of things are hidden from us because we're easier to control. We're a lot easier to control when we're ignorant, when we are sad, we are depressed. Uh, we kind of just want to get things over with. And what makes me sad is how much of our lives we spend at work. We're not developing relationships with our children. We're not developing relationships with our wives. Some people hardly see their wives or their husbands because they head off to work. They work different shifts. You know what? They say there's a fine line between ingenious and insanity because I don't think a lot of people would recognize a genius if they met one. We don't really know, I don't think. It does, and they actually made a chart about with of emotions, what frequency each emotion vibrates at. So if you can contribute to your happiness, if you can contribute to well-being and kindness and love, those emotions, those feelings generate a higher frequency, or they emit a higher frequency. And that's something that they knew in Egypt, in Greece. They knew about the law of vibration. They even did an experiment with tune forks. If one tune fork vibrates at one frequency, the other tune fork will vibrate at that same frequency. And I've noticed you attract people to you. If you're a sad person, or if you're an upset person, then you're going to start attracting people to you who are also upset. Or if you like something, if you have something in common, because everyone, and higher vibrating people have less sickness, they have less bad things happen to them. That's what I'm starting to realize lately. Now that I'm starting to become aware of this stuff, it's kind of freaky. And unseen beings, just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. Because we don't see infrared, I think. We don't see a lot of colors. We only see the basic spectrum, like the rainbow spectrum, red, orange, green, white. But then there's frequencies that we don't see. They're invisible to us. Yeah. And it's all about, well, then again, I've felt beings around me. I didn't see them, but I sure felt them. Like I was trying to say in one of my other streams about, there was a time I was talking to somebody. I had visited one of my previous workplaces, and I was talking to a friend I made there, and while I was talking to them, something brushed past me. I thought a person was trying to get by me, and I felt this being push past me, but there was nobody. I didn't see anybody there. And I think it was just yesterday. I was walking past a group of kids, and after I got down the road a bit, I felt like I was being followed, like someone's attention was upon me, and I turned around and nobody was there. Yeah, we don't see air, but it's definitely there. You can measure air by pressure, by weight. You know what? There's video of that. There's video of things moving all by themselves. Things flying off of counters, chairs, wheelchairs. I was watching that in a video one time. I think Slapped Ham. There was I guess a security camera captured a wheelchair. Isn't that interesting? I watched somebody vanish before my eyes. I remember one time I opened my eyes, somebody was in my bedroom, and then I watched them slowly vanish. He was sitting down. I wake up and I saw a guy sitting down in my bedroom, and then he slowly vanished. And you know what? What's weird is when different people see the same being. Different people see the same being. Like the Hat Man, shadow people, and leprechauns, and menahudes. I think that's how they say it, menahude. And fairies. People see stuff like that. Oh yeah? I've had a lot of yeah, but would be interesting is if I could if I could carry a recorder with me, like a little tape recorder, I mean a recorder, a digital recorder, and every time I have an experience, because I forget some things, some experiences that I've had, and that would be cool to say, I was just standing here talking to one of my friends, and I felt somebody walking by me, or yeah, people who are there, and then or it's just weird, just because they're invisible. They're saying that about the reptilians. We could look right at somebody, but they're vibrating, or they're emitting different frequencies, so we see a different image. Like They Live. There's a movie called They Live with Rod Piper, Roddy Rod Piper. He put on a pair of glasses, and he could see the aliens. Yeah, yeah, and also like the skinwalkers, you know, uh, the chupacabra, those cryptozoological creatures, the Jersey Devil, all these creatures. What's weird is when different people see the same being, and it's so 4 or 5 people can't be wrong. There are actual people who, a lot of ghost hunters, I guess, lately. People have instruments. Yeah, when you look into Japanese culture, Chinese culture, and Native American culture, a lot of them say don't whistle at night. They all say don't whistle at night. Like the Navajo, they say if you whistle at night, you could bring the evil one upon you. And yeah, it calls these these bad creatures. So don't whistle at night. Also, salt. I hear a lot about salt. Salt is a good way to keep your house protected. And black tourmaline. There's a crystal called black tourmaline that absorbs negativity. I think as long as you're not a negative person, you won't you won't attract those kind of beings to you. And always be kind, always be respectful. That's what I've learned in like these people who converse with spirits. Whatever spirit you call, always be respectful. You know, sometimes have an offering. Some spirits like whiskey. Some like rum, whiskey, rum, chocolate. There's a spirits that like, you know, and they say leave your offering for 3 days at least. There's one spirit that likes mango, like a mango, and but it's interesting how when they interact with you, you know they're there. You know it's not your thoughts. They say even extraterrestrials, they communicate with telepathy. Also, angels, when people meet angels in their near death experiences. I believe it is. I believe it is. Especially the hard alcohol like whiskey and rum and all that. They call it spirits. In voodoo, what they do is they get their mouth full of whiskey and they spit it out, or rum, and that's their offering to the spirits. But then also people just leave bottles. They could leave the bottles out there, and again 3 days. Sometimes incense too. If you burn incense, they like certain smell like sandalwood, dragon's blood, and jasper. I think sandalwood and pine smell is an offering you can. Oh, that's all you have to do is burn an incense. But then again, keep it up. It's kind of like when you invite a guest into your house. If they like M&Ms, if they like popcorn, it's like cool. They're more willing, I guess, to interact with you. Sometimes they just like you. A lot of times if a name keeps coming up, it's a there's a chance that spirit is trying to interact with you. If you start hearing their name or thinking of them a lot, like Raphael, that's what I would get a lot. Certain spirits, I'd start thinking about their name a lot. Because if you're thinking about them, they're usually thinking about you. A lot of times it's just a learning experience. Don't get frustrated. Just kind of trust that you're always going to get what you need, what you really need. Don't get frustrated. Some of these interactions are pretty amazing. Sometimes relatives will come and visit you. Yes, yes. That's why a lot of people, they cast a circle. They call their guardians. They wear amulets, that protect them. Sometimes we're just out and about. Some people carry a cross. Some people carry like a bag of salt or garlic. Garlic has been used. Garlic. There was, if you like King Solomon, there's stories about him conversing with, I guess, lower vibrating entities. Sometimes, yeah, you got to kind of know both sides because there's light and dark, good vibrations or lower vibrations. Fools walk where angels fear to tread. I think sometimes if you just sit quietly in a dark room, you start to become aware that you're not alone. You're not alone. Someone's always thinking of you. I've always wondered that. Am I manifesting you or are you manifesting me? Sometimes it's mutual. We sometimes like one another's company because it can get kind of lonely in life or boring. Or when you're feeling low, you can invite some friends over and have a little get together. That's what I'd like to do tomorrow after 3 o'clock, maybe. I was trying to do that today. Just get out and go up for walks. Go for some walks. Get out there in the air. I think a lot of us, if we can learn how to vibrate at our natural frequency, yeah, because it's like our auras are kind of like a barrier, you know, and when you relax more and let your mind wander, you start to vibrate at a different frequency, and you start to become your aura or your armor that you're usually carrying, or this emission. You know, you become more of a receiver than a transmitter. They say we receive and transmit. It's kind of cool. We should do an experiment one of these days. Just sit quietly and see what we notice. Sit perfect quiet, perfect silence. Maybe you feel the air around you. Maybe you feel, you know, you start to hear sounds that you didn't hear before. But then again, we rely so much on our five senses. There's so much more going on. Hey, dude. So Arch, we got Arch and Alex. A lot of people with their names starting in A are coming on today. There was an Arch and Alex. Who else was there? There was, I'm scrolling. There was somebody with an N. There was an Austin. There was another Alex. Yeah, Austin, Alex, another Austin. Yeah. Well, cool. This is a 2-hour show. Maybe that's what I'd like to do during one of these streams. Oh, well, that shouldn't happen. During one of these streams, maybe I should do an interaction. See who comes through. Oh, okay. Some people prefer not to use their real name because they want to be protected. Oh, okay. From games. There's a lot of gamers on YouTube. Quite a few people. I think it's getting late right now. I think it's past my bedtime. Tomorrow is going to be Monday. So I'm going to, I'll probably start around this time again. Right around sunset, maybe. And see who joins. And I'll see if I can come up with some other topics. More things of interest. And I guess we'll see each other tomorrow when I get a good night's sleep. So have a great day. Goodbye, y'all.